Hi, I'm Stefan Sysko. For over a decade, I worked for one of the world's largest pizza companies, helping stores across the country build their sales and their profits. The work was hard, but my approach was simple. No excuses. External factors are evidence pointing your efforts in the right direction, not an explanation of why you're struggling or why you can't do better. No sugarcoating. You don't lie to me, I don't lie to you. Sugarcoating is for candy stores, not pizza stores. Always attack problems and opportunities head on, without distorting or exaggerating the details. Differentiate through creativity and excellence. Remember exactly what it is you do. What I mean by that is what your value is to your customers and to your community. And always tell your story well. The honesty and clarity of mission are required elements if you're going to build a sales-focused culture. And until you've built a sales-focused team culture in your store, in your entire organization, you're going to keep spinning your wheels, spending time, money, and effort on marketing programs that either don't work or won't catch hold to produce long-lasting positive results. So here are 5 what I call basic truths. These are the essential foundation to building growth strategies that take root, that last, that enable you to achieve successes that build on previous successes. 1. All marketing begins with operations. If you can't provide a remarkable experience to your customers, which includes food, facilities, and friends, bringing in more people to disappoint will not grow your sales. It'll shrink them. 2. You can't effectively grow sales in a restaurant that's not built for sales generation. 3. Your store can't be built for sales generation without a sales-focused team. 4. You can't have a sales-focused team unless you hire right, train extensively and consistently, track progress, reward and retain the right team members, retrain or remove the wrong team members. Finally, 5. You need to know exactly who is responsible for the sales of your store. This is not just the owner, the franchisee, or the general manager. Everyone on your team has to have a clear understanding of their role in helping you build your sales. Everyone needs to understand the importance of their contribution to the success of the whole store. Add these up, and what you have is a conscious, stable culture. A store with a well-defined, deeply ingrained culture is built for growing sales. In such a store, the owner and the general manager don't have to battle roadblocks trying to drive sales. Instead, they can spend more of their time feeding the sales-building machine. It's impossible to field a championship team with a random assortment of mediocre players. An excellent, well-trained staff of highly motivated team players is tough to build. That's exactly why, when you do find and train such a staff, you'll immediately have a leg up on much of your competition. Anything less than star performance must not be tolerated, ever. A single, part-time, subpar performer will lower the bar for everyone in your store. And remember, for the first-time customer whose entire experience with your brand is based on an interaction with that one team member, the fact that 29 out of your 30 team members are superstars is irrelevant. To them, your store and your service stink. Now, we'll get into the details of hiring in a future session, but the most important thing to take away right now is this. Hire for personality. Hire for attitude. Then train for skill. You can train a friendly, enthusiastic new team member who has never made a pizza how to make a great one. It's far more difficult to make a cranky, rude, brilliant pizza-making artist be nice to your customers. This is an absolute non-negotiable. Without this commitment and discipline, the rest of the plan will always be a serious uphill battle. You can easily tell if a store has a sales building culture. In a sales culture store, anyone will greet you as you walk in. In fact, every team member who sees you will enthusiastically greet you the instant you walk in the store. It doesn't matter if the first person to see you come in is a driver rushing into the store to grab another delivery, or a busy pizza maker smiling and shouting a greeting over his shoulder. You will feel like a welcome guest. Every team member has a favorite product and is more than happy to share that fact with customers. Have you tried our garlic bread? It's the best thing I've ever tasted. Everyone will constantly be looking for opportunities to grow sales. After a pizza making training session, they'll take all the acceptable practice pizzas over to the fire department or the road crew working down the street instead of just throwing them out. If it's slow, someone will, without being asked, grab a sign and an iPod and go dance around by the road, attracting potential customers who would otherwise have driven by the store. Someone else might pick up the phone and call last night's customers to thank them for their order and to make sure that their entire experience was perfect. Or they'll call customers whose deliveries took a little longer than expected. Or frequent customers you haven't seen in a while. Or even local businesses, letting them know about your new business lunch special. Someone will grab a mop or a bottle of Windex or simply straighten up, making their store a place they're proud to work and a place where people will be happy to eat their meal. The person taking your order will always recommend some items to add to your order. They'll tell you how, based on what you ordered, you can get a better value by going with an available bundle deal. Delivery drivers will smile, thank every customer for their business, warmly say, "Enjoy your meal," and give them a bounce back coupon, telling them about a special discount they can get next time they order. No one will let you carry your order out to your car without offering to carry it out for you. If it's raining, a team member will come out with an umbrella under which they'll escort you out to your car. You'll see store team members in full uniform going up and down the street hanging flyers on doors. You'll see a store full of people who are genuinely interested in the success of their store. It's tempting to want a manual, a formula, a set of rules, some easy-to-follow program when setting up your store for success. Unfortunately, there's no quick and easy way to build culture and long-term success. Anything cookie-cutter is not going to have a lasting impact. The culture you create has to be genuine. It has to be led from the top, but it has to be embraced and practiced by all. It has to include a feeling of ownership and pride, and it has to be celebrated. Great teams take pride in their greatness. Mediocre teams just do their job. A successful culture requires everyone to be accountable to themselves and to everyone else on the team. But the culture has to focus squarely on the customer. How can you tell when a store has a true sales building culture? There are three basic cultural cues that are a dead giveaway: language, involvement, and sales responsibility. The first cultural cue is language. Whether you're the owner or general manager, do you call it the store, my store, our store? How about your team members? What does their language tell you about their sense of ownership? What language do you use to talk about sales, profits, goals, efforts, expenses? If you boast that I doubled this store's sales in only 6 months, your entire crew is likely to be offended, especially your most valuable team members, the ones who contributed most to that growth. Significant improvements to a store and its sales volume are always the result of a dedicated team effort, not a single person's. You may have driven the change, you may have led the way, but in order for you to have been successful, chances are good everyone on your team has been working hard to make it happen. Always talk in terms of my team and I have. Pride in accomplishment is a powerful emotion, one that builds loyalty and enthusiasm and reinforces positive action. Use language that makes everyone feel a sense of ownership in the store and in its results. Tie everybody's success together. If they help you, the store grows and becomes more profitable. If the store is more profitable, you can afford to give them more hours, raises, bonuses, incentives. Oh yeah, and drivers get more deliveries and more tips. Schedule mandatory team meetings every Monday. During the meetings, discuss last week's sales performance. How did it compare to the prior week, the prior year? How is the store's sales trend over the last 8 weeks? And whether sales were positive or negative, ask your team what they think contributed to that trend. Ask them what they think we can do to take advantage of factors that they feel are contributing to sales growth or to mitigate the factors they feel are contributing to sales declines. Talk about the coming week's sales goals. What level of sales are needed in order to beat last week, last year? Ask your team for suggestions on how we can actively drive sales in order to beat our goals. Share everything. Be transparent. If the store is doing well, sincerely thank them for their effort. If not, don't try to hide it. And definitely don't assign blame. Simply be as specific as possible as to why the store is struggling and tell them that the only way to turn it around is with everybody's help. Imagine a basketball team working hard, scoring baskets, except there's no scoreboard. The score is being kept in the back room, and the team has no idea what the score is or even whether they're winning or losing. At the end of the game, they go home, not knowing the results of their efforts, other than being exhausted from hustling and playing the best game they know how. They're expected to just keep on busting their butts as hard as they can, day after day. Imagine playing hard for years, retiring or getting traded, and never knowing how your team did or how you contributed. How long before changes to effort and attitude become apparent? Now you may say, sure, but these aren't NBA players, they're pizza makers. You're right. NBA players, even without a scoreboard, work in an exciting, competitive environment with thousands of cheering fans, not to mention multi-million-dollar contracts. And don't forget, where the average pizza store is open 12 or more hours a day, the average NBA game lasts 2.5 hours, and players only work about 30 minutes per game. In most pizza stores, when things are slow, you find the crew sitting around bored, waiting for the phones to ring. This is mostly because their job, answering phones, making pizzas, delivering, is to respond to a ringing phone or to a customer walking through the door. There's no greater context, no bigger goal for them to work toward. I challenge you to change the job descriptions in your store to be: make customers deliriously happy, build the sales of the store, and finally, a specialization, such as answer the phones, make pizzas, or deliver them safely. So a driver's job description would be: make customers deliriously happy, build sales, and deliver pizzas safely. Whether general manager, assistant manager, phone person, pizza maker, host or hostess, server, delivery driver, or any other position you may have in your store, obviously everyone's number one job should be to make customers deliriously happy. Everyone should understand this. They should also understand that each one of them has a clear opportunity to contribute to this goal, no matter what they do in your store. If you ask your crew if they're responsible for building store sales, you're likely to get some funny looks and answers like, "I just make pizzas. I really don't have any control over the store's sales." You need to make it very clear that sales building is everybody's job. Then, of course, you need to train them and give them the tools they need to do that job. Establishing a sales building team culture in your store is a lot of work, and it's an ongoing job. It's not easy. If it were, everyone would be doing it, and you wouldn't have the opportunity to differentiate yourself from the competition. Start now. Focus on it. Make it a way of life. Involve your team. Listen to and try your best to implement their ideas. Next time, we'll talk about how to use incentives to help build your sales-focused culture and your sales. Pizzaschool.com is a complete online training system that will keep your crew on top of their game. Be sure to subscribe today. Until next time, market relentlessly.